It's 4:38 in the morning and I'm heading out for a long day at Casino Point. But first, I must grab some drinks for the drive to the Catalina Express. My gear is packed, the tanks are loaded, ready for the Casino Point Grand Tour. On the ferry, I meet up with friends. Today, we have a special guest joining us, Tan, the 2025 GUE NextGen Scholar, who has been diving with a lot of folks in Southern California. Everyone is swapping stories, joking around, and getting ready for a full day of diving. Normally, GUE divers bring their own set of doubles to the island, but it is also easy to rent steel or aluminum tanks here. My buddy and I rented additional aluminum tanks and set it up as a stage so that we could extend our bottom time for this long tour. The conditions were unbelievable, and we could have not asked for a better day to do this dive. The Casino Point Grand Tour is a full loop of the entire underwater park, hitting every major landmark in a single long dive. We start at the furthest buoy of the park, drop down to the deeper section at around 100 feet, 30 meters, sweep across the bottom past the Old Tires field, and then the swim platform. Then out the park boundary to visit the wreck of the Valiant. From there, we arc back inside the park, visit the glass bottom boat, and the Sue-Jac. Then we transition into the shallow Kelp Forest, stop by the Cousteau plaque, cruise over to the boundary between the park and Descanso Bay, where we will finish our dive. Our dive started at the far end of the park, where we hoped to find the resident school of barracudas. This time, they weren't there. From 102 feet, we picked up the scooters and began the journey to the swim platform. Passing through the Old Tires field, we came across an abandoned weight belt, surprisingly heavy. You always wonder what the story is behind gear like that. At the swim platform, we run into some friends also on scooters. And just as we arrived, a giant sea bass was startled and swam straight towards me. They're huge, and when they get that close, it's a little bit intimidating. From the swim platform, we set a heading of 300 and made the quick scooter run to the wreck of the Valiant. It is a 5-minute ride on a scooter instead of a 20-minute swim. The Valiant was a luxury yacht that caught fire and sank in 1930, just outside of Casino Point. Today, it sits in about 100 feet of water, 30 meters. You must secure a permit from the Avalon Harbor Master before diving the wreck. And unless you're doing this dive from a boat, it is not recommended as a single tank dive due to the distance from the park. After a loop around the wreck, we returned towards the park and passed through the swim platform. This time, we stopped by to check the structure. Here, we run into our friends Jung and Norbert, who were also doing a 2-stage long dive. From the swim platform, we headed over to the glass bottom boat. However, I was trying to call my buddy's attention as we were too shallow. At this point, we ended up spotting yet another giant sea bass. We course corrected and headed over to the wreck. The glass bottom boat sits upside down in about 65 feet of water, 20 meters. Because the wreck is inverted, you can enter from either side and look up and see the original viewing windows overhead. Not much is known about how or why the glass bottom boat ended up there. Likely it was deliberately placed there. It is a quick, easy, fun swim through to test your buoyancy and feeding techniques. As we were heading to our next tour stop, we ran into a group of 4 giant sea bass. They circled us for a while and came close enough that I could get some great footage on both of my cameras. Giant sea bass are listed as a critical endangered species with a population of less than 500 breeding individuals. They are protected in California after being fished almost to extinction in the early 1900s, and places like Casino Point have become natural sanctuaries for them, and it is common to see them in the mid to late summer and oftentimes late into the fall. Encounters like these are one of the reasons divers love coming back to the park. The next stop was the Sue-Jac. The Sue-Jac was a small commercial fishing boat that sank in 1980 and now rests between 65 and 90 feet, 20 to 28 meters, and is part of the park's collection of wrecks. I was so focused on squeezing through the crack in the hull that I completely missed a massive school of barracudas hanging above. Luckily, the 360 camera caught them. For the second part of the dive, we moved to the shallower areas of the park and visited the Cousteau plaque, a small tribute placed in honor of Jacques Cousteau. At this point, we just hover over the Kelp Forest at around 40 feet. Sometimes the best part of a long dive is just staying still, watching the schools of fish, the kelp moving with the surge, and the light streaming through. As we were going towards the boundary between the dive park and Descanso Bay, we ran into Dan and his buddies, so we stopped by to say hi. The boundary between the dive park and Descanso Bay is an area rarely visited by divers, so it is really nice to come here and spend some time in the shallows. My mask was fogging badly, so I tried something new. I pulled it out underwater and added more defog, and then put it back on. This worked for about 5 minutes. I saw a couple of divers experiencing some discomfort. I wasn't sure what was going on, so I got close to them to see if I could assist them. However, they seemed like they figured it out. Once again, we run into Jung and Norbert, wrapping up their long dive. After about 180 minutes, my buddy hit mean gas and we called it. 3 hours underwater. Casino Point is one of those places where you can always find something new, even after countless dives. Wrecks, the Kelp Forest, giant sea bass, it's all here.